So I've been trying to duplicate the fuzz sound on Norman Greenbaum's Spirit in the Sky, and I've already converted this Electro-Harmonix Satisfaction Fuzz into a Jordan Boss tone by making a few changes inside. But there's one other bit of the song and of that tone in Spirit in the Sky is the thought of a dead battery and that starving battery sound. It does something to the fuzz. And rather than try to pick out a dead battery and try it out directly, it's easier to create something like this. This is the Dead Batt. And all it is, it's a potentiometer that I can feed it a 9-volt signal, and I can draw the voltage down and starve the circuit so that the fuzz sounds different. Let me walk you through how I made this. All right, in putting this thing together, I've made my enclosure with a 10K pot there, and that's it's a logarithmic or audio pot. And I'm in the course of adding the input and output power jacks. That's not so. So the idea is that I've got my power supply coming in. That's going to go through a pot wired as a variable resistor. Negative is just going to be the ground going all the way through. So the input power comes in there, gets scaled down by this 10K variable resistor, and then this sort of squashed power comes out. So that's the idea. And I want to make sure that this is my pot here looking down at the pot like this. I want to make sure that when I'm in this minimum position that I have the maximum resistance, and when I'm in the maximum full clockwise position, I'm at maximum power or at the minimum resistance. So when I'm all the way clockwise, I want my wiper to be essentially bypassing the resistor. And when I'm all the way over here counterclockwise, I want the maximum resistance like that. So if this is my maximum volume, I want the wiper to be at maximum volume there. And when it's all the way down, I want the wiper to be at this guy. So these two legs need to be held together. So that will be my power coming in, and that will be my power coming out. That's the top view. If I flip this guy over, bottom view, there's my legs. Okay, these two get tied together, input, output. Now, since I can never remember which one of these legs is the center tap and which one is ground, I'm going to have to buzz this thing out. So let's see, my outer. Okay, so my long leg is the outside conductor, which is going to be my positive. So positive on the outside, negative in the center, because that's how my power supplies work. So negative center is this little guy, positive outer is that guy. So since these are ground, I'm going to run that peg to that one, and I'm also going to leave a little bit of excess wire so I can ground the chassis here, and that should keep things a little bit more quiet. All right, fine. Holes are a little bit too small for me to get a second wire in, so I'm just going to hook that guy and drape him over here. There. tack that guy on. There, I'll just drop that ground wire into the screw hole. Alrighty, so by convention, this is my going in side and that's my going out. Alright, so he's coming in. So that'll be my full power. And then I'm going to use that piece of wire to bridge the gap between these, oops, these two, okay? Make sure I get that right. So he's going to come off of there, he's going to angle in a bit, and go to those two legs. So that's my positive coming in. I'm snaking over here to these two tabs right there. So let's tack them in. And just because I like to use a different color for what's coming out of my resistor, I'm going to use this section of blue wire. Alrighty, so there's that. I'll go ahead and hook this guy up to the Satisfaction Fuzz here. Let's see, so that's on max power. And you can see the light there, and as I turn down the power, we should see that dim. And that looks like it's dimming. So that's full power, and that's low bat. All right, well, that was a quick project. The Everdead. Now I'm gonna go have some nice saggy fun with the fuzz. Let's see how it sounds. All right, so we've got all this in the pedal board here, and I've got my fuzz hooked up, and I've got my Everdead battery. You can hear how much the static changes. That's set all the way up. You can hear the static coming through the speakers. And I turn it down all the way. You can see that the light dim and the static has gone away over on the amp. So what does it sound like? Sounds pretty good. Of course, I have it sagged all the way down, and this normally is a pretty vicious sounding fuzz. So with the Dead Batt in there, or the Everdead, it actually sounds really good. It tames it down a little bit, and it has that ripped speaker sound when you really dig in.
like it.
Now, I know that there's more to a dead battery than just voltage. It's much more complicated than that. In fact, there are bits of test equipment like this bit from Tektronix, and it costs over $5,000. It's more complicated, obviously, than just having a potentiometer and a small metal enclosure. So I know there's much, much more to it. Just trying to mimic the sound of Spirit in the Sky, this isn't so bad. Let me know what you think. If there's any other ideas that I need to try in addition to this, maybe you know a circuit, please let me know, because I'm going to continue until I have this cracked. And I will check you guys next time.